Therefore thus saith the Lord concerning the king of Assyria, He shall not come into the city, nor shoot an arrow there, nor come before it with shield, nor cast a bank against it. By the way that he came, by that same shall he return, and shall not come into the city, saith the Lord. For I will defend this city, and save it, for my own sake, and for my servant David's sake. 1 Kings 19:32 through 34. From the ascension of Hezekiah to the captivity, the Assyrian and the Babylonian overshadow the house of David, and call forth those exercises of heart which are painful to the flesh, but profitable to the spirit. These enemies appear because of Israel's unfaithfulness. So it is in the Christian life. Fidelity to the Lord and to his precious book saves the Christian from those trials which a want of fidelity surely brings, and yet the pitying love and wisdom of God may use these very griefs as instruments of spiritual enrichment to those who, like Hezekiah and Josiah, really love him, though that love be imperfect. Hezekiah began his reign as a vassal of the king of Assyria, by whom he was placed upon the throne during the lifetime of his father Ahaz. In 18 verse 7, it is recorded that he rebelled against that monarch and defeated the Philistines. This victory over the Philistine, who was an eternal enemy, and the latter victory over the Assyrian, who was an external enemy, illustrate the fact that victory over both inward and outward temptation is promised to the overcomer. Sennacherib, leader of the mighty Assyrian Empire, had laid siege to Judah and was now threatening Jerusalem. In fact, he was demanding the surrender of the sacred city. The prophet Isaiah now appears for the first time on the pages of the Bible, 2 Kings 19 verse 2. Isaiah the prophet predicted victory, and a great victory at that. Not only would Sennacherib not take Jerusalem, but furthermore he would not even shoot an arrow against it. This great victory, however, was not because of any moral beauty in Hezekiah, but rather for his own sake and for David's sake, the true David, Christ. The scripture says, And it came to pass that night that the angel of the Lord went out and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 185,000. And when they, that is the inhabitants of Jerusalem, arose early in the morning, behold, the army of Sennacherib were all dead corpses. 2 Kings 19:35. This shows us the power of prayer, and above all, the power of God. Never before had Sennacherib met such power. History records that he left immediately, going back to Assyria. There, ultimately, he was murdered by his own sons. Before his death, he made excursions into other parts of the world of that day, but never towards Judah. What a mighty God we serve!